Hi listeners, welcome to my channel and welcome to Method to the Madness, that is September 2021. Virgo season is a time of change, of cleansing, of getting down to brass tacks, and we would do just that with the support of a beautiful, beneficial, forward-looking, resolute new moon of 6th of September and many supportive earth and air trines promoting both future ideas as well as practical implementation. We would do it despite the noise of the global events which would come with the activation of 26th of May lunar eclipse in Sagittarius, which fell on the ascendant of US and Biden, as I warned of back in May. One which comes with very fated events, completions and release of South Node. We would do it despite Neptune making us many times feel it's so uncertain that we do not want to take a new step forward in certainty, or so disappointing in the current moment that future looks too far and past looks rosier than it was. We would do it because we are running out of time. Every moment we waste in overthinking life versus living it, because the time to do the right thing was yesterday. We would do it in the strength of heart and the raw resolve yet emotional intensity that Venus in Scorpio is going to bring. We would do it in the balanced yet indecisive mind of Libra Mercury, and with the precision yet self-doubting drive of Mars in Virgo. In short, we are in far from perfect times. These configurations are far from perfect that we're going to live in September. Yet we would make the best of things, as these planets are in mutual reception to each other, and they are going to make the best of things despite not being at their best individually. We are reminded life comes in many shades, but our mind has capacity to assimilate the one shade we would like to color the world with and cut the noise to focus on that one color or shade. If we are to make anything of life at all, focus on that. Pick a lane, give everything you got to it. Despite the noise, we don't have time. I'm leaving all the key dates in description, and I will quote a lot of them so you could use it like your calendar for the month of moods. For Substack subscribers to my newsletter, I will email them out to you in a day. You could sign up if you want to receive them instead of noting them down in your email. Reading is divided into chapters and you can access them through the timestamps in description, or just click on the screen and use the technology that YouTube rewards us with. And you're going to be watching specific dates and timelines during the month by clicking on the timestamps. Let's dig in. Virgo season is in effect till 22nd of September, and it promotes vitality of our mind but with grounded and practical output. It's not about doubting the idealism or the spiritual plane of life, but more about being occupied with practical aspects of life. So that's exactly what we will do, and that is what is going to keep us busy till 22nd of September against the background of geopolitical volatility, which is going to build up to October. In October, we are going to have 3 external planets going direct, and they will bring global changes as well as it will open up personal changes which might have been held up for a long time. We'll see significant forward movement with those 3 external planets finally moving forward in October post the Mercury retrograde. Focusing on the current moment, Virgo season in September brings out the perfectionist as well as the critic in all of us. But as Mercury, the planet that rules our mind and speech, it is going to be in Libra for 9 weeks starting from 30th of August till 5th of November. We are less likely in this time to let our criticism outwardly known. We are more likely to constructively use, if we have a critical thought, to make the partnerships and connections work through diplomatic expression of that analysis. Yet we do need to be specific. We cannot be generic in Virgo season. We need to observe our details and not use creativity or trying to make nice to generalize things to play our cards as well. In this unpretentious, intellectual season, ideas need to be converted to practical forms with perfection of detailed execution. Virgo season is normally a time of cleansing, so we must use it for that, for physically, mentally detoxing our house and our body, especially building our immunity during this time. Neptune opposition to planets in Virgo brings out this balance between the field of medicine and the field of alternative or holistic healing. That balance globally is always activated in Virgo season, and this tug of war picked up steam since Neptune moved into Pisces in 2011, and it would strengthen as Jupiter and Neptune, they will be together in 2022, growing the relevance of holistic healing. Because of the 20th of September full moon, which will be critical for growth of this holistic healing field in 2022, we'll see some sort of holistic healing solutions come to focus in the month of September. I have covered this in the lunations of September, which is the new moon and the full moon that is happening in the month of September. So you could refer back to that. But that is one of the key balance between holistic healing and the field of medicine that we'll see play out. And as I said, it has become strengthened. It has strengthened since 2011 when Neptune moved into Pisces. And distrust in traditional medicine will grow, unfortunately, unless we find ways to incorporate the compassion, the holistic healing as part of the whole process of health and healing at an individual and institutional level. I do believe that the 6th of September new moon in Virgo, which is attached to traditional healing, I would think because it is trine Uranus, we'll find some of these holistic healing methods being incorporated into traditional healing methods, and that might come into focus with the new moon of 6th of September. Be careful this month though of trying what has not been tried in healing on or around 2nd of September and 14th of September, because our body can be exposed to reactions which are greater than normal, especially if you have planets or points which are interacting with 22 degree of mutable sign, which is Virgo, Gemini, Sagittarius or Pisces, 22 degree. Because Neptune is over there, our immunity is lowered at these degrees. We would in general be well placed to focus on our immunity and physical upkeep in Virgo season to be ready for October, because in October, Chiron is going to oppose the planets in Libra, and Pluto will be going direct, which normally brings some sort of either a mutation or a Chiron linked ailment to focus. So we need to be ready for October. So September is a very good time to up our physical upkeep and our immunity, and we'll see a preview on 8th of September when we are having the first Chiron opposition to the planets in Libra. 8th of September is when Mercury will be opposing Chiron, and that's when we might get a preview of something related to healing on an ailment or a health issue that might prop up, and we need to be ready for it. Chiron opposition also makes us feel that we are not adequate in some ways to stand up for ourselves. So 8th of September is the day when you need to be a little bit sensitive to yourself in some ways, both psychologically as well as physically. This is not medical advice. I'm just telling you astrologically how the things look. We're about to move to a change in season. And in this mutable season, when leaves just start changing color, we change our patterns and habits to be more of use and vitality. Whatever in your routine, in your diet, in your physical activity is not letting you put your best foot forward, that is worked on, that is made efficient, that is made healthy. Virgo rules the excretionary system in our body. Sorry for saying that, but that's what it rules. We remove, it's the archetype of discretion. So we remove toxins our physical existence, any toxins in our surrounding, in our home that weigh us practically down, they need to be detoxed out of that. Worry is an integral part of the process of Virgo, and that's why it's best to plan out your day and week, and that's why I've done the calendar this way for the Virgo season. I think it takes the stress out of the situation a little bit. So plan your day or your week ahead during this season. Create a plan. You will follow through. Once you have a plan in Virgo season, you follow through in that. Skills and passions we have discovered, which happens in Leo season in August. It's the time to perfect and polish those creative ideas into craft. It's time to handle all parts of it and not just the fun ones. So quality is key, and we need to address all parts of our passion, even the practical, especially the practicals one. And if August or the Leo season brought you roadblocks, some sort of a passion of yours, love of your expression of your passions, it did not materialize in the way you wanted, it might be the month to help you find an alternative solution to those roadblocks, because Virgo is the problem solver. It is the time when we put our mind to create the solutions to the roadblocks we have been facing. If you are born with the potential to shine, or we have created a potential to shine with Leo season, Virgo season is when the practical expression of those very talents are found. Like Neil Armstrong, who was born with Leo sun, but it wasn't till his progress sun moved to Virgo that he actually walked the moon, which required precision and craft. You'll find your latent gifts and the passions you have discovered in the Leo season now finding its practical and precise outlet. Analyze, edit, refine, prioritize, hone, and create efficiency. Become more useful than you were before. Add value to your services. Bring a balance to your mind and body connection. Then use the 6th of September to 20th of September period to laser focus on planting a new seed with that acuity of mind and body steeped in practicality, service, and excellence. I have spoken of the 6th of September new moon in Virgo, which is very beneficial in detail in the lunation video. Look at that to go deeper into it. Remember that Virgo and Pisces new moon and full moon of September are at the degrees we last saw in 2015, in line with the two Aquarius full moons we just had. They will wake up themes of March of 2015, especially the 20th of September full moon, which is a harvest moon, which will come with results. Look at the lunation video for more details on the new moon and the full moon. Let's go into by dates further. 2nd and 14th of September is when we have the two Neptune oppositions this month. Planets in Virgo would be opposed by Neptune and Pisces. They will add confusion and fog, and we have been there before. Venus opposed Neptune on 9th of August, and then Mercury, our mind, faced that on 24th of August. So some of us have been in that foggy, maybe a little bit disappointing position, dissatisfied with status quo in some ways, which we might have faced in a personal life or in financial matters on 9th of August, and then in some practical matter on 24th of August. Mars, our drive, would face the same in the first week of September, specifically on 2nd of September, and Sun, our identity, would face that on 14th of September. These are temporary stops. Neptune opposition challenges the resolve of Virgo practicality, and if we are not careful, it can cause psychological imbalance or illness which is linked to psychology, or even past baggage weighing us down. 2nd of September, Mars opposition to Neptune, which we would feel for the first week of September, and 14th September, Sun opposition can make us feel a little bit discouraged, low on drive, especially if you have planets or points making aspects to 22 degree of Virgo and Pisces, so especially the mutable signs. Physical energy and immunity could feel low at these times. Sometimes it's a pullback from rushing forward so we can hear ourselves. Whenever I see Mars opposition to Neptune, especially that we see on 2nd of September, I look at it and think going to the gym for soul in some ways, like when you have to just Think of the physical action you're doing to help yourself psychologically. Instead of trying to lose weight or trying to get fit, having the aim to do something more higher, essentially. So it's sometimes a nudge to that. Whenever we see Neptune opposition in birth chart or transit, we need reminding that sometimes the physical action needs to be done for your soul or spiritual or selfless reasons and not just for material results. Material results sometimes flow as soon as you accept that part of the equation I've seen. In intimate relationships, passions, we have building slowly. You might have been working on something very diligently, something you have been laboring on, which is of service and in health. A doubt or dissatisfaction, and that could creep up on these short term moments. Just remember, it's just that moment. Many of us have already experienced that with the 24th of August transit, so there has been a build up to it. Mutable oppositions are, well, for mutations. It's possible that we are experiencing one thing to be, we sort of are expecting too much out of one thing that we are doing, or we are demanding practical, immediate, groundbreaking results from something that is more spiritual, soulful, or long term. So there could be a gap between what we are doing and what we are expecting out of it, which can be highlighted. We are reminded that different endeavors could pay out in different currency. At its best, this can be seen as procrastination, discouraging, depletion of energy and drive, which is, again, as I said, it's a short moment. Sensitivity to drugs can be high. We should avoid physical stress on 2nd and 14th of September. Try to see where desire is clouding the reality of situation, where we are sort of just rushing forward without looking at something which is being highlighted to us. Misunderstanding and miscommunication are very often in close relationships at this time, so be careful of that around these times. Past usually comes up at this time, and we should try to avoid dodging the situation. Temptation to submerge this feeling of dissatisfaction using food or some substance is very high, especially around 14th of September, when we seem to feel that the something we are working so diligently on isn't all it seemed to be in our head, yet we have this unknown force which is pushing us to serve, to perform, to give everything we have in love and work and health. Bury your ego for these short moments. Take action once you have more clarity. Every dissatisfaction or the nagging feeling like that which comes up, there's usually a strong desire behind it, which is unmet to the way that we are trying to do what is right. So acknowledge that maybe there's a desire of yours, which what you're doing right now is not satisfying. Sometimes it's a hunch or intuition, information coming through. Go within and analyze it. It's not a good idea to go to somebody else to ask them to analyze that during these transits, because you'll feel disappointed in others during this time. It's one of deceit and disillusion from the external world. So it's better to look at it yourself, follow your intuition at this time. Sometimes when your past is coming back, you will tend to see it more rosier than it was. Remember that being useful and of service is very different from being manipulated into feeling of obligation to others. So see if your intuition is trying to tell you that. Is that what's coming up? Self-assertion is low. Avoid any competition, confrontation. No playing victim or martyr. No negotiation, no agreement, no pretending to agree. Mercury is in shadow period after 6. So even if you pretend to agree, it's going to come back after 27th of September. Keep that in mind for the whole of September. If we are pretending to agree for sake of peace in relationships, you'll find that coming back after 27th of September. So just put off stuff that you're not yet sure of. Reflect, emote, experience the depth in mundane, see potential of fantasy. This is about fantasy, soulfulness in what you're doing, maybe what you're diligently working on. You don't realize, but it's helping you in another way. See how what you're doing in terms of physical exercise or work is fulfilling you as a person versus filling your pocket or making abs. Take care of your body and work holistically in your peace. What we do on these days for personal recognition will not normally go as intended. So it's best to do what you need to do for charity, for spiritual growth or creativity versus for animal spirits, which will be lacking. If it's too much, working alone is the easiest solution to 2nd and 14th. I spoke of these in the 1 minute update I did for the 24th of August when Mercury opposed Neptune. You can look at that 1 minute recap because for every sign I flash what to do when this comes up. So you can just look at your sign and see what it says, what are the themes which will come up. I'll leave the link in the description. We will immediately, as soon as confusion happens, I spoke of it on 24th of August, as soon as the confusion happens, there is a clarity that comes right after it. It's like night and day. Virgo season is like that. We have the ups and the downs. Dual season take us to both the sides. So you'll immediately get Pluto trine right after that on 6th and 16th of September. So 2nd of September, you got confusion. 6th of September, clarity. 14th of September, feel dissatisfied. 16th of September, you get some clarity. It's like you have to fight that shadow in between to get some incremental information, which in practical go, you may not be getting. Again, I'll put the recap of the 26th of August when we had the fog and the clarity for you. You can look at your sign. It flashes and shows you what it means for your sign. And both the recap videos, the 1 minute videos, they show Virgo season themes by sign as well. If you are in one, try to see both sides of the arguments. Yes, it can be confusing, but imagine, and Virgo season gifts us with trying to see both sides of the equation. Imagine if it opens another dimension for you to alternative way of thinking of life and situation. At the very least, it can make us more compassionate to another person. We can positively use this by leveraging our oversensitivity in this brief transit to create uncanny awareness of social trends and needs of others. Mutate with it. The things you normally don't tend to flow with, try to flow with it. See what happens if for these brief moments you don't plan every moment of your life or worry about future. But it's Virgo season, so mark these dates, 2nd and 14th of September in your calendar, so you can plan to be intuitive on these dates. Stay off physical efforts. No signing off of things on 2nd or 14th. We are in mutation. Virgo works with the power of the mind, and our mind will be in a more balanced place, which we have the ability to tap into on 6th or 16th of September when emotions of physical weakness becomes lower. Then on 6th and 16th of September, find a solution to the fear, to the hunches, to the intuition, to the thoughts that are coming to it. Dissect it down and you'll find the solution. Balancing being empathetic, all inclusive, transcending the mundane, doing what fills our soul, what fuels our creative mind, fantasy and soul, while catering to everyday realities of life and doing what fuels our pockets and our body and our ambition is the tightrope every Virgo season intends to walk. And we get better at it one season at a time every year. And the 20th of September full moon would give us the playing field to perfect this balance once again. In terms of global events, this brings communication and travel issues around 2nd and 14th of September. Expect everything practical and medical to not work well. From food supply to communication to travel to services to utility workers to health centers or medical community. In April 2021, when Neptune was here first time, Biden had announced the withdrawal of troops from Afghanistan. India had COVID-19 spread, which was shrouded in lack of clarity. We had a failed yet attempted attack on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. Afghan peace process was put forth by President Ghani, which of course we know did not work. When Neptune is direct, we don't see things clearly as we did not see back in April 2021. Because of which decisions were made in illusion or false information in April. Same for ourselves. If we took actions in April for ourselves, we might now need to course correct because we have seen more and we have seen the reality of things. It's a mutable sign. It's a mutable season. We mutate with now what we know. This aspect forms key part of Neptune opposition that United States is undergoing. So we could expect major events there combined with the lunar eclipse activation within the first 10 days of September linked to the head of country as it's aspecting the top of the chart of the country and Biden. Let's look at the helpful air and earth trines that we're going to see on 4th, 6th, 16th, 20th, 25th, 25th, 29th of September. So many positive dates. September would gift us with beautiful earth and air trines which help us in both ideation and implementation, but on these specific dates. Trines don't bring events unlike oppositions and the eclipse activation and the lunations that I spoke of. Trines facilitate events. So you have to proactively use these dates by setting your intention to get things done in negotiation and implementation on these dates. So 6th and 16th of September, implementation. 4th, 6th, 20th, 25th, 29th of September, negotiations and agreements. Remember that Mercury will go retrograde after 27th of September. So things we negotiate or agree on post 6th of September, they are liable to change in October. So keep the bandwidth and flex for that it could happen after 27th of September. We are going back on some of especially the negotiation and implementation with partners and agreements. Earth trine of 6th and 16th of September, which is with Pluto in Capricorn, it gives a lot of focus and conviction to find solutions, create practical progress in the fog that's created by Neptune right before. So it's these days to get things done, agreements progressed or seen in detail, authorities convinced, physical effort of detailed, persistent nature done. Use the 6th and the 16th September Earth trines for self-assertion, daring, confidence-filled activities which require a lot of determination. We would be compelled, even obsessed, to carry out a practical undertaking. Thoughts will be intensified and normally very intense events are seen as we saw on 26th of August. We readily attract events in line with the focus of our thoughts. So be careful of that. Our attitude and our thoughts, they have the power of manifestation, which is very strong on 6th and 16th of September. This is one of those transits that if you plan to reform or change any part of your life, you can do it for long term. This is also great to make an impression on someone, which can be long lasting. Evolve what helps you move forward on these dates, because these are of material achievement. Unusual opportunities or unique people, they can bring out larger caliber in you because of the 6th of September Uranus trine, which I spoke of in the Virgo new moon video as well. So you can refer back to that for details. But remember that 6th of September is great for some nuanced, unique opportunity to come in. Sun-Pluto trine of 6th of September is part of the Pluto retrograde cycle, which began back in April and will end in October. This is about bringing your true potential of talents to physical reality by removing fears or the unconscious beliefs that are below the surface in us. And it sort of brings out the ambitions back to life. We saw the opposition on 17th of July, which was sort of turning of the tide. And now we find an easy expression of forward movement. So 17th of July was like a time when we realized what's blocking us or who is blocking us, and that could have come through a confrontation. Now this trine is a beautiful, easy expression of the potential that was laying latent within you, and we move forward from incubation to awakening state of Pluto retrograde. That can coincide with the discovery of the potential that we were aware of, but we did not have a capacity to realize it in practical life. But the Virgo part of our chart gives a material manifestation of that potential which was laying below the surface within you. Pluto will go direct on 6th of October, and we would walk the degrees third time till January 2022. So the period from 6th of October this year to January 2022, we would spend this time in deploying the new skills, new strength, new conviction, this is in Capricorn, so it has to do with your physical world, your career, your title, essentially. So the new skills, strengths, conviction, resources, talents that you have found through the inner journey that we have been in since April, now is the time to start expressing them outward. And we're beginning that part of the Pluto retrograde cycle on 16th of September. Then we have the beautiful trines of 4th, 6th, 20th, 25th, 29th. Libra is coming with abundance of fair trines for us. And Libra planets are trining Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius, which is great for future ideation. As I said, Saturn and Jupiter together, they are creating a source of next 20 years of growth. So it's forward looking. So the 4th, 6th, the 28th, 25th, 29th, these are the time for future ideation, to get along with people and for relationships and partnerships to be built up, friends and clients to get along. 6th September one is particularly very, very fortunate. I spoke of it in the Virgo new moon as well, along with 20th of September. The fantastic thing is that both the full moon and the new moon this month, they have a trine with Jupiter on that very day, which creates a expansion of what is possible out of them. So 6th of September one is happening around 25 degree of air sign, so they can benefit the most out of that. 4th September Mercury Saturn trine is happening at 8 degree of air sign, which is great for serious methodical thinking and discussion to figure out practical purpose of new ideas that you might have. So this is the grounding of the ideas in a positive sense, which you could do yourself by thinking in a practical way of your new ideas, or you could seek counsel for somebody older or more experienced, or seek approval of authority or formal communication of your new ideas on 4th of September. 6th of September, beautiful Venus Jupiter trine, which is happening at 25 degree of air sign, is highlight of this month because it brings social ease, connections which are beneficial, expansive. This is very positive for relationships, both romantic and commercial, as well as for creative and money matters. For finances, it's very, very good. Make an investment or a connection. 20th of September, Mercury Jupiter trine, which is at 23 degree of air signs, is beautiful aspect for negotiations, commercial documents. But we would be going back over this aspect because of Mercury retrograde on 3rd of October and again on 1st of November. So it might seem that the negotiations of 28th of September or rework or discussion, they require some rework down the road because there is more information that needs to still come out on it. Expansion of your ideas to the extent you want might need a closer look, so leave space for changes down the line. It's still great influence to get a chance of expansion 3 times of some of your forward-looking ideas. Then 25th of September, we have Mars trine Saturn at 7 degree. We do the tough and exacting work on 25th of September with patience, with willingness. This can be very beneficial if 20th of September full moon has sort of stirred up emotions. 25th of September calms us down. It can bring benefits from superior or administrative approvers. Then 29th of September, which is my daughter's birthday, and it has such positive aspects on that day, we have Sun trine Saturn. It's the last phase of Saturn retrograde cycle, which began on 23rd of May. Saturn retrograde cycle is always about setting boundaries and rules of the new life that you're building, the physical structure of your life. And in Saturn and Aquarius, we are building a future structure of our life, which is ahead of time. So in the middle of that restructuring, now we have a apt expression of that forward-looking ideas. And Sun trine Saturn on 29th of September, it can give you a practical, meaningful expression of that forward-looking idea. And the phase till 10th of October is like giving birth when you're putting final touches. It's the last phase of labor when the structural changes you're trying to make to that forward-looking ambition you have, which we spoke on in December of 2020, saying that, this is your source of growth now for the next 20 years. And in 2021, you're going to work on that. You're putting the final touches to that, in my view, at least the first version of it, in this phase till 10th of October. Air trines don't scream passion or anarchy. but they know how to work together in a fruitful way on a future that we share together. And that's what we do with these many air trines we have. And what a friendly note to end the month despite the Mercury retrograde. We also have a water trine on 29th of September between Venus and Neptune, which is great for romance, creativity, soulmate-ish energy, deep romantic energy. There is a Venus square Jupiter on 30th at the end of the month. So just be careful of going overboard when it comes to shopping or expenses. But even despite this over the top vibe, it's a beneficial transit at which we are ending the month. Let's go to the warning bells of Mercury retrograde. As I said, Mercury will be retrograde 27th of September to 18th of October. We will get some warning signs of what's going to come up for rework for them on 5th and 22nd of September. So though temptation to get along, do the diplomatic thing, sing kumbaya, get along in partnerships, sign off clients will be high, which is great. We have 9 weeks of Mercury in Libra to do exactly that, work on our relationships, work on our communication and ideas. But there are elements of discussions and agreements which will be done post 6th of September, which require revision post 27th of September into October. Libra season is exactly for that, which will begin after at the equinox 22nd and 23rd of September. The season of diplomacy, partnerships and agreements will be used for honing on these skills to connect with others. We would have 3 external planets going direct in October, which will bring a lot of global events, as I said. Then we have this Aries full moon of 20th of October, which is a T-square with it. So October will demand directional, powerful actions, but it will require us also not to brush things which we have been doing to make nice. Warning of things that you are just making nice for will come up on 5th and 22nd of September. 22nd of September is the one I think which we are likely to not get very clearly, because we would be under the impact of the Pisces full moon, which is flying a magic carpet. So we could miss the 22nd of September. But I think the 5th of September warning is something that we will most likely get. 5th of September is when Venus squares Pluto. It can bring an intense experience in relationship. When a person shows you who they truly are, you got to understand that. It's a great one if, say, passion was missing in relationships. So, a little bit of steamy 5th of September is great. But its shadow side is we see controlling behavior from somebody. And it points to a change that is needed in an agreement, in a relationship, in a financial matter, due to the issue of power and control. So there will be a clear, in my view, warning sign on 5th of September. Then 22nd of September is when Mercury squares Pluto at 24 degree of cardinal sign. We would experience someone forcing their point in discussion and negotiation in the same way. But we will be under the influence of Pisces, so we may not take it very seriously. But this is a transit of compulsive thinking. It can bring some issues to open on communication and relationships, which do need rework during the Mercury retrograde. With the first, because this is going to repeat itself, Mercury square Pluto of 22nd of September will repeat on 1st of October and 2nd of November. So we need to revisit this discussion or this pattern of connecting with another again in October and November. So look out for that. The last thing that I'm going to cover today is the Scorpio season preview. Let's skip a season because we're going to see a little bit of preview of the Scorpio season with the Venus entering Scorpio on 10th of September itself. So relationships become a little bit deeper as well as intense at this time. And also the focus comes on finances much more when Venus is in Scorpio, especially on your investments in stock market and earnings from other sources and what other people owe you, and all of those topics come up. So the 17th and 23rd of September, the trines that we are getting in Virgo and Libra, they're great. But where Scorpio season is going to expose us to all the extremes yet overdue changes that fixed signs are experiencing because of Saturn square Uranus, which is saying, okay, you cannot hold this madness within you for a long time. If there are fixed parts of issues in your finances and in your relationship, you cannot hold back for such a long time. So a preview of it we will see in our personal life and financial matters, which will happen with the Saturn square on 17th of September. You will see that somebody is trying to either hold you back on 17th of September. It can make us feel blocked by somebody or just made feel inadequate in some ways. It's a temporary, very short influence. Don't fall victim to the fear or take the feelings too seriously. Know that you cannot make everybody happy and it's not your job to. Use this time to see what structure needs to be created for the expression of your deeper knowledge. You have a strong ambition to express some deeper knowledge you have. What is the structure of that? You have some creative ideas which are different from norm. What is the way to formally express that? Research your next successful, deeper subject instead of trying to sell them to another or to interact with others and sell it to another on 17th and 23rd of September, because others will become a problem on these dates for you in some way. Especially the 17th of September days is when we may not get along with people. We'll feel oppressed by somebody. And fixed signs will feel it the most, especially who have planets around Scorpio, Aquarius around 7 degree, and then Scorpio, Taurus around 14 degree. 7 degrees where you feel the oppression, 14 degrees is where the volatility sits, because we are having Uranus opposition on 23rd of September with Venus. This is the day when somebody colors their hair pink or something. It's just out there, like you go swing from one extreme to another. We want freedom, we want change. We see somebody blocking us, we go to the other extreme. So Venus opposition of Scorpio, unless something you have been planning for a long time, this Venus opposite Uranus, you have to be a bit careful in expenses and impulsive purchases or impulsive beauty changes or impulsive love decisions on 23rd of September, because this is out there, especially if you have fixed signs around 14 degree, you have planets or points around 14 degree of Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo. You want to be a little bit, you'll feel it the most because Uranus is there. So that's what I have for you this month. Sorry, it was a long one. We're going to go sign by sign. I have hurt my foot on the last Neptune transit, and it's just, I'm under deep pain. But I'm going to go over sign. Just have patience with me as I release the sign specific videos. Hope you have a great month ahead, and I'll see you in your sign specific video now. Thank you.